Hey, what's up, everybody? Doing another voiceover of some rounds here at Nexus today. We have 3 rounds going on. Here's Brandon and Frank. Brandon is the taller, thin guy. Frank is the shorter, stocky guy. And the name of the game for the theme of this particular video is going to be size discrepancies. I think Brandon's about 20, 25 pounds lighter than Frank. Frank's a really good wrestler. You see him hit a double leg there. But Brandon has decent jiu-jitsu. He's newly minted blue belt, but he's been training for a while. He's got really, really good guard, super scrappy. And Frank's almost a pure wrestler at this point. He doesn't have a whole lot of the jiu-jitsu knowledge, but he knows how to move bodies. He knows how to shoot in and get the takedowns. And here, Brandon's able to start exposing Frank's right arm, and Frank doesn't realize the threat until it's a little too late. Brandon rolls right underneath, and he's able to get that kind of sweep, pendulum-style sweep, and the armbar finish right there. The thing with Frank, too, is he learns really fast. So every time you tap him, his brain kind of downloads, and he starts to get a little better, a little trickier every time. So here they're back on the feet. Frank's trying to set up his ankle picks here. There he is, ankle pick, head outside single. He's able to get a lift and do a little crackdown. And he almost lands right in a triangle. He's wise to it at that point. And now they're in a leg entanglement. Frank does something really smart here. He takes his secondary leg, his free leg, pummels it inside. He's kicking Brandon's hands, kicking Brandon's chest, making space so he can free the leg that's in danger. He's able to come up and wrestle. If you could change the dynamic of the position, always do. Come up and wrestle. Get on top. Here he kind of shrugs out of another triangle attempt, and he's working to pass. Brandon reaches over for a Kimura grip. He thinks about Kimura trap there, but Frank traps his legs, so he just uses the Kimura as a basic sweep. See how he used his right leg to hook Frank's legs to take himself to mount. He goes for a mounted triangle here. Frank shrugs out of it. But Brandon keeps top position, finds the mount. I'm telling Frank in this position, get your elbows down, hands on the hips, make some space with the hips, and start working. He exposes his back here, but he does an old wrestling trick here. See how he pulls the bottom leg through, like deeper than it should be for the body triangle? We call that a hula hoop, where he's kind of hula hooping Brandon's hips off of his back, taking Brandon to his back and starting to flatten him out. See how he grabs the head there? It's a wrestling head snap. And now he gets caught in another arm bar, but he's wise to it and uses that athleticism, that explosiveness, and rips his arm out of there. He falls right back into the guard. There's a potential triangle here, and now they're just playing the game. Brandon gets into his triangle, and Frank pummels his arm back inside, 2 arms in or 2 arms out is the way you want to play this. Now, Brandon does a really good job here of wrist control. Look at that wrist control, the supinated grip. He's able to create his angle and get to his triangle again. Now it's much tighter. He gets the triangle lock. He was able to grab his shin there, and now he scoops to create the angle. This is a trap. So he's able to actually get a really, really good triangle and get that finish. And that was a technical motion. I'm really happy with what I saw there. Now they're back at it. Frank's looking for his wrestling again. Brandon's kind of letting Frank dictate the wrestling here. Now, again, Frank is quite a bit bigger and a better wrestler. He hits his ankle pick there, and he's able to turn that into a double leg and put Brandon on his back. If Frank had a little better jiu-jitsu here, he'd be able to kind of capitalize on this flank that he has. But Brandon's trying to get back to guard. He actually exposes an arm, kind of goes for a Choi bar here, I think they call it. And his legs aren't in the right position, but he's able to put some real pressure on the arm and shoulder here. And Frank does something wise there. Yeah, it didn't look super tight, super locked in, but it was seconds away from potentially being dangerous. And there's no reason to show toughness. Toughness in the training hall is just stupidity. So Frank does something good there. He taps early, taps often, and he's able to get right back to the grind. So we're back to playing on the feet. Frank is trying to set up his motions. Stiff arm in there. Nice little head snap. Brandon's doing a pretty good job, and now he's getting active. Shucks him off. Starts getting to work. Frank's digging those underhooks. Brandon goes for some throws here. And now, yeah, they're playing. He tried to hit a fireman's carry, but Brandon stuffed the wrist. And we're just having a good round. These boys are really putting energy into this round. It's fun to watch. Frank hits a double leg. Looks like he's in an Iranian-style position, but he's able to just dump Brandon. Brandon tries to go to close guard here and looks for another triangle. And now they're just playing the game, trying to find their angles. I'm sorry for the way the video looks, the 2 black bars on the outside. I'm very tech unsavvy. And there's the logo right there. It was a great round from the boys, America. And tech unsavvy, I didn't realize that I needed to have the camera angle sideways instead of vertical. So this is what we got, but the rounds are still really good. Here we have Kyle. Kyle's in the white shirt, and Julio. Julio's in that nice colored shirt with the black shorts. Julio is a little guy, 130 pounds or so, 135 pounds, and Kyle's closer to 200 pounds. So we have a big discrepancy in size here. They're both blue belts. I think both blue belts with 1 or 2 stripes. Julio's a good wrestler. He has good wrestling knowledge, and Kyle is no slouch in the wrestling. He's kind of goofy, kind of awkward in the way he moves, but he makes it work for himself. See, Julio goes into the single, body lock, knee tap, and Kyle's able to just move through all of that. Kyle does a shot from space just to get a connection. Julio's able to stuff it. Now Kyle's hanging on the head, which I love. Exhaust people, get on their head, get on their neck. Kyle does a sick arm drag to out the head outside single, and Julio goes for the guillotine instead of fighting out of the position, ends up on bottom. He hits a little lower leg shift with an underhook there, and Julio's able to find top position. And now Kyle's playing from his butterfly guard. There's Billy, professional fighter here. And Kyle's able to get to his closed guard here. Julio doing a decent job of fighting through the closed guard. Kyle's creating a flank, and Julio's doing a good job of shelving his leg. Kyle almost gets to the back and then hits this sweep. I would say there was a bit more power and size in that than pure technique, but he's able to hit the sweep, find top position, and now he's starting to put some smush on Julio here. This is not a fun position to be in. It really cranks the neck, doesn't feel good, makes you expose your back. So Kyle starts taking the back. Again, the size discrepancy is real, but Julio is a feisty guy, and he's got that good wrestling and decent jits. And so Kyle's now looking for that rear choke, but you see how Julio's looking into the choking arm shoulder. If you could look towards the choking arm shoulder in any rear choke, bow and arrow chokes, rear chokes, and start to kind of turn your shoulders. See how there isn't a good chest to back relationship for Kyle. There's kind of a V between their bodies instead of a flat chest to back relationship. And Julio's continuously turning towards the choking arm shoulder, which gives him space on that right artery, that right side of his neck. So he's able to relieve the pressure, and get out of the strangle. Now Kyle's able to follow to mount, and Julio did a good job. He got out of back control, and he was able to not get submitted. But now he's in a pretty bad spot. His elbows are exposed. He's mounted by a bigger man. So this is where things start to get real hectic. And Kyle does MMA with us as well. So he's looking, this is a little MMA position we like to play. And now he's looking to trap for a triangle, mounted step over a triangle. And it's a pretty good spot. But what Kyle's doing with that grip that he has on the wrist is he's actually turning Julio's body to an angle that isn't helpful for the triangle. Julio's left artery in this scenario is completely safe, completely free, because it's kind of in that knee pit of Kyle. There's a little flex from Kyle. And Julio was able to get his hands together, so his left hand is on the inside. That's creating a lot of space and freedom. It certainly isn't comfortable, but it won't put you out. It's not an actual sub. So I tell Kyle, look for the arm. Take the arm instead. I was hoping he'd throw his left leg over the head and play more of a quarter arm bar style position, but he opts for more of like an S mount kind of weird position here. And there, Kyle starts to get mean. And I couldn't believe it. Julio was not wanting to tap here, but he finally tapped there at the last second. It was a really good armbar attack from Kyle, and the way he stayed on top instead of falling to his back was also wise. Julio is definitely feisty. He doesn't like to get submitted, so he gets that look on his face, but he's just so game. I love it. So now they're back at it. And that was sick. He did a little inside trip with a little arm drag shuck by and was able to create a flank to a front headlock. And Julio had to be cautious of the darce and potential front chokes there. So he had to bail, go to his back. And now Kyle's chasing that darce, and he's able to put real pressure on it here. A size discrepancy in a darce is just brutal. Julio's trying to answer the phone, but I've never really seen that work for darce. You really just want to go back to your knees and try to fight the hands. So he's able to catch him there, but that's just how it goes. Now they're back at it on the feet. Probably a little tired at this point. They've been going after it. There it is, end of the round. Great round, fellas. Again, size discrepancy is the name of the game. Here we have Blake and Jose. Blake is standing. Jose is playing guard. The size discrepancy here is probably 30 pounds or so. Blake is about 7 million pounds easily, and Jose is, I think, 170, 180, somewhere in there. So yeah, but Blake really walks around like 205, 210, but he's just feels like he's made out of adamantium. They're playing a good game. Jose was able to get that good sweep, come on top. Blake's trying to play the leg entanglements, and Jose's got the answers. Jose is a very good purple belt. Blake is a newly minted brown belt. Jose is stronger than all hell, and Blake is, again, made out of adamantium. So this is just a good round to watch. It's fun, technical. There's a little K-guard entry. He loses the knee. Blake loses the knee line, so he tries to come up to the back. And Jose is able to turn it into an outside ashi with a free knee position and almost a cradle. See how he's kind of almost getting his hands locked. And now he's able to stretch Blake's knees apart, so it's quite easy for him to pummel his left leg out of here. And then he just has a good flank on Blake. Now he has a position where he can start looking to pin or progress through to other dominant positions. He's using a little pressure, slowing down the game a bit. There he pummels his left leg out, so we have a free left leg. And now he's just looking to get a good pin here. Blake is really good at finding his underhooks. See how he finds a near side underhook there? He's able to do a little ghost escape and get back to half guard. So now they're back to this little passing battle. And Jose is able to create a flank around the legs, get the knee past Blake's hip line, and start working knee on belly. See how Blake already got that underhook again. Blake is so good at that. It's very difficult to keep him flat. Jose is able to flatten him here with a nice cross face. Blake still has the underhook on the far side there, and he's blocking the hips with that little elbow post. But Jose's got such good pressure, and he's able to kind of keep him flat for a minute here. Blake's going to keep trying to use that underhook to free himself. Jose steps on Blake's wrist there with his other leg and pins it for a second. As Blake comes up to his underhook, Jose almost goes to mount, thinks about the guillotine. Blake is really hard to choke with those things, and Blake's able to recover his guard. I think he's looking for another K-guard entry to find backside 50-50 options. Instead, he opts for the underhook, and he tries to wrestle up on a lower leg shift. Again, Jose is a very, very good wrestler. So now we have a little single leg dogfight style position. Jose limp legs out. We're back in the single leg dogfight position. Little scramble. Blake's on the double leg. I would like to see Blake get head height there. He's able to set Jose back down. And this is great stuff. We got good wrestling going. Blake does a good thing, tries to get to the back. But Jose is starting to turn. He's using the wall here, and he's cutting his corner. Jose needs to turn to his right, clear the right elbow. Blake looks for the guillotine. Jose stands up out of it. He's so strong, so good. And now we got a little wall wrestling. Jose's head position is not proper here. I think he should... There it is. Boom, right away. Gets his head under the chin, finds the proper head position. I always like my head on the same side as my underhook. Blake goes for a little uchi there. Jose kind of thwarts that pretty easily. Starts working in towards a body lock. Blake's doing a good crossface, and we're just having some fun here. Blake does a little snap, kind of brings Jose in on the single leg. Guillotine action here. Jose shrugs him down, and now Jose gets the takedown. He's back on top in Blake's half guard. We have a little leg pommel battle here. Beautiful stuff. With Jose having his hips high like that, it's pretty easy to pommel the legs and get into a leg pommel battle. And with the pressure down on Blake's head with the crossface, it's hard for Blake to deal with it. Jose, it does a good little sit out here, fundamental starting position, and he's able to win out that little scramble. Blake finds quarter guard on the far side, and Jose's doing a good hand fight here. I like that he stopped Blake's ability to defend that leg, and now he got a crossface using his head. That is awesome. That's high-level stuff. Jose wants to be able to step through just like that to find the mount. Almost a technical mount position. Blake's keeping his left elbow in a good spot, though. He's keeping his elbow frame low, keeping his elbow frame against Jose's hip, so Jose can't come high and get his center line on Blake's shoulder line. And that allows Blake to create escape potential here. He's trying to grab that foot. Even though it looks like Blake's giving up his back, he's actually not, because his left elbow position is keeping Jose's hips down and low. That's the end of the round. Really good work from the boys. Again, that size discrepancy stuff right there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.